this one. All right. Well, we are officially going live in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Recording this. We're live now. I'm going to start the recording of that. Start the audio. And pray to gosh, everything's working.
Mm-hmm.
That's always the hope.
Yeah.
The great hope.
Don't forget to
That we didn't screw things up.
yeah, don't forget to pull the light back when you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Roy G. Bibb.
Mm-hmm.
Roy G. Bibb. Mashed potato. Mashed potato.
Squash banana, squash banana.
Well, that didn't sound good.
No, it
Okay,
didn't.
Switch. How about you go in this box with a really old donut I gotta throw out?
Oh, come on.
No, why do my kids waste the donut?
Yeah, right?
Nice long jar too.
Yeah, right? Oh, come on.
Hopefully that's not appearing on screen. Yes,
Probably
it
is.
It is.
Fantastic.
That's okay. We just gotta wait for it to vanish before we actually. It's okay if it's in the stream. Podcast hasn't started yet just because we're live. We might be live.
And we probably don't have any viewers. No, we don't. Probably because they have got no notifications. Hooray!
Who knows? Watch, you say that and we're at like 100.
Yeah, well, according to that, right now, if that updates live, we're sitting at 0.
Well, let's see. Okay, we are definitely live. We have 4.
Okay. Oh, so that
Whether
does
or
not
not
update.
Whether or not, it does update eventually. Whether or not it's okay, that's my home page. Is it appearing in the sub feed?
Probably not.
I'm gonna be able to toughen this count. Let me switch accounts. Let's go to Now Dead.
Now dead.
No links.
Nope.
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 Not at all. That sucks.
Fantastic. Thanks, YouTube.
Good thing I tested that.
Yeah, thanks, YouTube.
I mean, maybe notifications went out if there's 4 people watching.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, hey. Okay, it went away.
What?
It went away.
Oh, it went away.
Yeah, I think we're clear. Too late. Whoa, too late. It's too late
I'm
to
viewing.
apologize.
Look at me. Come on, dog. I see you. Relax. Relax. I guess I'm just going to hit share on this. Copy link.
Twitter.
To our no, I'm not tweeting that. I'm putting it on the Discord for.
Yeah.
Just in case things aren't working. I don't really know if they are.
Yeah.
The fact that we have any viewers right now without me advertising,
Yeah, right.
maybe is a good sign.
It's possible they're just sitting on your page and
Found it.
popped up.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We're at 6 now.
Oh, yeah. Woo.
Beats me. I'm looking like a snack, my dude. Jeez. Sure.
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Okay.
I gotta sync. Yep. It's all good. My glasses are freaking filthy, but I don't think they can tell from that far away. So.
Probably not. Maybe. Why? You gotta get the Y in.
All right. Blah 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 mashed potato, mashed potato, mashed potato, mashed potato.
Cold spaghetti, cold spaghetti.
Cold spaghetti.
Oh God,
All
why?
right.
You can tell I'm tired.
It's okay. We're having fun.
No, I know.
All right. Hey everyone, welcome to the Nintendo Prime Podcast. I forgot the episode 93.
Yes, 93.
93.
93.
That's right. 7 away from a hundo.
Oh yeah.
About to do something special for a hundo. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be a giveaway.
Well,
We'll see. We'll see. How's it going? I am your host with the most, Mr. Prime, also known as Nathaniel Rumpleljants, joined as always by
Eric Moore.
All right.
Yeah,
We
buddy.
got some awesome topics for you today. A lot of stuff to get through. But before we jump into any of that, I have to mention our patrons.
Yeah.
Because our patrons are what make this podcast possible. They also now make our weekly editorial possible. They also make my monthly game reviews possible. And pretty soon, a weekly show, if we hit our $400 stretch goal on Patreon at patreon.com/Nintendo Prime. If they hit that $400 goal, which we are creeping closer to, $47 away, they will have another show, side quest, every single week.
Whoa.
So yeah, things are kind of blowing up on Patreon since like literally one stream ago, or one podcast ago, I should say at this point. This podcast is being broadcasted live. However, YouTube is kind of broken, so it doesn't really matter. Very few people are going to see it. That's okay. We always do one of these podcasts live per month to everyone, not just our patrons, because we want to advertise the fact that we do have this as a Patreon goal. So if you are watching right now, one of 8 people I currently see watching that are not currently a member of Patreon, if you would like to see this show live broadcasted usually on Thursdays, but every single week before it comes out in the fully edited version on Mondays, we'll become a $10 backer on Patreon at patreon.com/NintendoPrime. $20 backers get to be on a podcast. $5 backers get a 1-day early access to the audio version. So, yeah. Kind of showing you off one of our Patreon tiers. We show it off once per month. That being said, let's actually thank our patrons because once per month, if you are at the $5 tier or up, we will thank you personally in a podcast episode. So I think I'll have you do the $5 tier, and then I'll do everything else. Because there's a lot of $5 backers.
Right.
Thank you for your support, guys.
Yeah. So $5. We got Eric, not me, Alex, Miranda Herr, Josh, T.T, Alex B, Adam, Corey, Nick, Thomas, James, Alexander, Nick S, John, and Hugh.
Nice.
Yes.
All right. So at our $10 tier, which is the tier that's supposed to be catching this live, although it is public, we'll see if anyone actually catches it. Eric W, Matthew, JWH, Mark B, Roy, Ben, Zenith, Nintendog, Edward, Joe, Fool of a Took. Let's see here. What do we got on the back here?
15 up top.
I got $15 backer, which isn't a tier. They just wanted to back for $15. So I obviously appreciate it if you're just going to go outside of the tiers and give more money. Thank you so much, Josh. And then we got to get to our $20 backers. These are the ones that are able to be on an episode of the podcast. In fact, I think next week is our first one who's going to be on this month.
Nice.
And then I know Corey, who's one of our $20 backers, just shouted you out, Corey. You will be on a podcast, I think the final one of the month, because he wants to talk about the investors meeting.
Nice. Okay.
So first off, Neil Willis.
Neil.
Neil. We got 2 as well. 243. Be Righteous, and whoever this is.
Tim. That'd be Tim.
Tim. We try not to say your last names without permission, so that's why outside of Neil Willis, who I mean, at this point, if I don't have permission to say his last name,
right,
I don't have permission to say my own last name.
Yeah, right.
And then we have a special $60 backer, our first ever $60 backer. We've had a $50 backer before and a $100. We've never had a $60, and we don't even have a tier for it. He's just doing it because he's awesome, Mr. Robert.
There you go.
Thank you so much, all of you patrons, for making this possible. And that doesn't even include all our $1 backers because they don't get shouted out for the podcast specifically. Right. But we have some $1 backers as well. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get into today's topics.
Yeah.
The first topic we have is an oldie but a goodie. It is one that has been discussed probably over a year ago.
Yeah, that's possible.
But I wanted to bring it up again because I think it's something that people still don't fully understand. And that is, why did the Wii U fail? Now, I owned a Wii U. I played basically every single exclusive on the platform and some of the third-party games. You got to play some of them at my house or the apartment at that time. Yeah. But you never bought a Wii U.
Correct.
Not sure you ever had any interest in buying a Wii U.
Correct.
Did you?
Well, I did. Sorry. Let me rephrase that. I did when it came out originally. I thought about it.
The launch hype.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Thought about it, and then just never happened. I didn't have the money for it, and then eventually it was just kind of like, me.
All right. So I think this is an interesting conversation because I have my theories on why the Wii U failed, but I've already made like videos on it and all this other stuff. I'm very curious though. Why did you besides obviously not having the money at the time? Why did you never have the desire to buy a Wii U?
Well, you had it.
Well, yeah. So I have a Switch.
Right. Yeah. No, I know. I don't know. I just kind of got away from gaming for a little while.
Okay.
At that point in time, I was more kind of in the Xbox realm.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know you weren't confused over what a Wii U was because of me.
Yeah.
That's one big thing is you had me, so like I wasn't gonna let you be confused.
Even
without me.
even without you, I wasn't confused by the Wii U.
Well, I bring that up because my mom, I think even still today, thinks the Wii U is just an accessory.
To the Wii, and that was again very poor naming on Nintendo's part because of that fact that people just
should have just called it a Wii HD.
Yeah,
would have made sense to everyone. Oh, it's different because it's an HD Wii. But that's besides the point. The problem with calling it an HD Wii, of course, would mean you would think all your games are going to be in HD now. Yeah, I could play all the Wii games, but they wouldn't have been in HD. So I can understand not wanting to lie to consumers. But, I mean, you should have made a Wii HD, and it wouldn't have been a problem.
Or you just go away from the Wii name, period.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I did an editorial piece on this about a year and a half ago where I said, what if the Wii U came out in 2010, but instead of being what the Wii U is, it was just a Wii HD. So no gamepad.
Yeah.
But still like the same specs. But what it really did was all Wii games would be upscaled to HD. And then obviously you would have the specs of like an Xbox 360 and be able to get all the modern games for another extra 2 years over what the Wii U had in that generation. And I always thought, yes, it would still be one of those stopgap consoles. But you know what it would be, right? It'd be the PlayStation 4 Pro or the Xbox One X.
Right.
It would be like that mid-gen upgrade, not a huge deal. And that would have been right, because like Wii was starting a downturn
That wasn't the fad at the time, though.
Well, see,
the fad at the time was new console.
When? In 2010?
Yeah, that's true. Never mind.
Like, the Wii was starting to downturn pretty hard.
Right.
And if it would have been, oh, wait, we're about to get an HD version? Oh.
No, right.
Oh, and that HD version's going to get Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty and like all of the stuff like the other systems now?
What year did they make the like the DS and then the 3DS and then the 3DS XL?
The DS was 2004.
Okay, and then the 3DS was, which is
a
new
the 3DS
console.
was 2011.
Okay, and then the new 3DS was.
Jeez, you're really putting me on the spot for that one.
No, that's fine.
2013,
but like I was saying, it wasn't the trend back then to go kind of just up the specs of that same console. It was brand new console.
But the DS did it. DSi.
Sort of.
No, it literally did it. The DSi was higher spec.
But that wasn't. Maybe that
even had exclusive games.
Maybe that started the trend.
Not a lot of people bought the DSi. The 3DS, the new Nintendo 3DS, I should say, new Nintendo 3DS and new Nintendo 3DS XL were the first massively successful mid-gen upgrades for Nintendo. Now, granted, we're not talking like a massive upgrade here, but it was significant compared to the original. Like, it ran Xenoblade Chronicles, 3D, that when the OG Switch couldn't even run. Hyrule Warriors Legends ran phenomenal. It actually ran better on the new Nintendo 3DS than it did on Wii U, frame rate wise.
Dang.
Excuse me, if you could even believe it, like better frame rate wise. But if you played it on an OG 3DS, it was like unplayable basically. So that was like the first real successful mid-gen upgrade. So I understand like Nintendo hadn't really. I don't want to say they've never done something like it. I keep thinking back to like they've done remodels. Like they had the Wii Mini, which was a stripped down Wii.
But that was after the Wii U.
Wii Mini was before Wii U.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Wii Mini was before Wii U in Canada. I think it was while the Wii U came out in the US, but it was in Canada for a couple of years first.
So then maybe they just didn't want to go with the double route of the quote unquote upgraded system.
The NES was redesigned at some point, especially in Japan. The SNES had a bunch of different versions. Most people just remember their localized version for their territory, but there was a couple different versions of that. I mean, heck, there was a GameCube in Japan that had a DVD player. It was Japan only.
Yeah.
But like, and that didn't come out at launch. So like, there's been these kind of experiments, but I think the DSi was kind of like a test. Like, ooh, do people even interested in like a mid-gen upgrade?
Right.
And we're not really going to go all in with it. Okay. Well, now like 3DS itself really didn't have a lot of sales momentum. It was kind of sort of doing okay. Like, well, what happens if we reinvigorate the market with new hardware? They do that, swappable faceplates, which I thought was a brilliant idea. Unfortunately, the market kind of rejected it.
Yeah.
That sucks, and so the XL is the one that took off. But yeah, it's well, to be fair, they only brought the XL to the US right away.
Yeah.
We didn't get the one with the faceplates until the Happy Home Designer one.
Right.
Like they would have had them both there at the same time. Who knows what would have took off.
Right. No, for sure.
Probably the XL because we like bigger screens.
We like bigger screens.
But yeah, it's interesting that that's the first major mid-gen upgrade that works. So, but my thing is back then, the Nintendo Wii was downturning, and some of the Wii's audience was starting to go to Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 because it kind of felt like the next logical step. Okay, we played all these games. Now we're ready for something that's quote-unquote better, and those were quote-unquote better systems. So I think that if Nintendo would have read the tea leaves correctly, if they would have launched like a Wii HD that was the Wii U, but brought upscaled Wii games and all that, I think they could have actually stopped people from going over to those systems, because then they could have got all of those third-party games for an extra couple of years, and it would have been a perfect mid-gen to try to get them to Switch or whatever's next. The big thing is, would Switch exist without Wii U? And that's a question that I can't answer.
Well, or maybe it would have pushed. The thing is, maybe it might have just pushed the timeline back a little bit. Maybe they would have had a little bit more time to rethink the Wii U, made it better, and then still gave us the Switch a couple years down the road. So maybe we'd be looking at the Switch in 2021, 22, maybe, instead of...
But here's the thing,
or 2020?
I don't know. It's hard to figure out, what Nintendo would have done with a Wii U or whatever their system would have been, because I'm not sure that Nintendo would have wanted a $400 system at launch like the rest had. So if they're not going to go for that, then they would have just had budget hardware again. And I don't know what that would have looked like. And it's often said, if Wii HD happens, I don't think Wii U happens. Because the idea of Wii U, at least the base premise of Wii U, was supposed to be it's on par with PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, which didn't matter by the time it came out, because the next gen was coming a year later.
Close,
literally a year later, the next gen launched. So it was bad timing to do that. Back in 2010, that would have been fine, because you would have still had 3.5 full years on the market. But at that time, that was terrible timing to just have a same spec as other systems. And then the idea was it was supposed to be a more personalized experience. So Wii was for families, U is for gamers.
Yeah, Wii U was for you.
It was supposed to be for you the gamer. That was what the idea. That was the marketing stick. Then they found out third parties are like, wait a second, it's just on par with 360, and it's coming out in the end of 2012.
Yeah.
We have hardware for the next systems already, and no, we're backing out.
Right.
We're done. That unprecedented partnership done. Whatever you guys want to think of EA. So my thing is with Wii U is I think the entire premise of it was misguided. I think there's two directions they could and should have went. Their direction with Wii U was to basically try to chase. They were chasing current instead of thinking future. So they should have... I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine Wii lasting until the end of 2013. But I feel like they should have either just went all out and ditched the gamepad and just went with a Pro controller with optional Wiimote use and tried to build a PlayStation 4, but maybe slightly underspec for cheaper. Do an Xbox One. It was underspec from PlayStation 4, but without a Kinect packed in, so cheaper. Or the other route is to go, which is the route some people might actually have liked, is to go Blue Ocean again. So Wii U, they focus so hard on making it a hardcore gamer system. What if instead they would have released a Wii 2 with improved motion controls, improved IR tracking, and potentially started glancing at VR? Now, granted, it would have been low-grade VR. It wouldn't be even close to where VR is today. But at the time, it really wasn't that big a deal yet. And I'm not saying you pack it in, but that you sell as the Wii VR experience. Or
that
whatever.
would,
and it'd just be a low grade. Granted, it would be garbage. It would be garbage VR. But it would be like that garbage VR that gets you in the door. It would almost, it'd be kind of like the. And the thing is, I don't like VR, so I'm glad they didn't go this route. But it would be like the Virtual Boy, but actually kind of sort of functional. In a way, and optional,
tabletop,
and optional, completely optional as well.
Right.
All games would be playable outside of it, but it would be interesting if they're like, we want to focus really hard on enhancing motion controls, and we think VR is a good application for it, even if this system isn't it. This system is just to tide me over until we're ready to launch a full VR-based system. And I think that would have, I don't know.
For sure.
I don't know that Nintendo would have did that, but
it's definitely possible if they would have went that route. Then they could be almost on the leading edge of VR. Then. Maybe they would have had a revolutionary, because we have the revolutionary normal, quote unquote, normal console. Maybe we would have had a revolutionary VR console.
Maybe.
It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to obviously know 100%.
Right, for sure.
I also think that the Wii U had like a number of problems as a system. Like we're thinking of all these alternative ways things might have changed or might have been better. And I don't know that any of them would have necessarily been better because ultimately there's a theory out there that Switch doesn't happen without Wii U. Because what's the one thing that Wii U probably deserves credit for?
The fact of games, quote unquote, kind of on the go.
Off TV play.
Yeah.
It was one of the coolest features at the time. Vita was a portable system that tried to be like, oh, you can stream your PlayStation games over the network to the Vita, but it wasn't native. So there was always some delay, some latency, didn't always work. You were on hotel Wi-Fi trying to connect at home. It really wasn't a great experience. And still, this is not played locally, streamed. And even then, with Vita, as powerful as it still was like you weren't quite getting home console quality games. Wii U, you were getting home console quality games in your hands, just happened to be only on your couch.
Right.
So I do think that Nintendo learned from Wii U that the off-TV experience is something people actually like.
Right. No, I agree with that.
They like the option of playing on their TV or playing on the tablet. They don't like that the tablet has to be tethered. And I think that's where the idea was born of why don't we just make the tablet the system?
Yeah.
And then just make the TV thing the dock. I think that's where it was. But that's the thing. We don't know, so we're never going to know. I don't think. But I do think Wii U was integral for that.
Right. And again, I kind of wonder where it would have been if they would have came out with an HD Wii and had a little bit more time to think about the Wii U. That concept. Would we have gotten the Switch instead of the Wii U?
Yeah, like in my ideal world.
Or would we have gotten just a better version of the Wii U?
In my ideal world, we get the Wii HD in 2010. And that starts getting all modern games. All of the stuff that's on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, it's multi-plat. Over the next 3.5 years, it gets it. Now, if you remember, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, for their first 2 years of their life cycle, every multi-platform game that wasn't exclusive that came to their platforms were still coming out on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Ergo, if those games were still selling well enough on Wii HD, potentially Wii HD could have kept getting those games until like 2015. In 2015 is when the Tegra X1 came out. So instead of NVIDIA releasing their Shield product, Nintendo partners with them and they create Switch. And Switch launches in 2015. Now, granted, Switch would not have been $300 in 2015. I doubt NVIDIA would have cut them as good a deal. Probably would have been $400. But if you think about it, at the time, PlayStation 4 and Xbox were $400. So it wouldn't have been that far off from where everything else was in the market. They would have, you could talk about would have cannibalized 3DS too soon, whatever. I don't know. Maybe they rethink everything. Maybe they don't end up. Maybe this is the weird thing. Maybe 3DS gets canned sooner and all the games come to Switch.
Possible.
I mean, it's 2019 Nintendo. We're still waiting for that to happen. You're getting Kirby's extra epic yarn. That's great. Why isn't it on Switch?
Right.
Why isn't all these like Mario and Bowser? Like that game coming out now.
Yep.
It's Bowser's Inside Story. Like it's a port of a DS game that like added extra stuff. Okay, it's taken so long. I don't know why it's taken like 4 years to get that game here since it was announced. Like, why isn't that on Switch by now?
That too.
And like we just got a port of the Luigi's Mansion late last year. Why wasn't that on Switch?
Why did that go to the 3DS?
Like, it could be on 3DS, fine, but also on Switch.
Right.
Like, you're just kind of alienating Switch people. Granted, not that we don't have enough ports as we are, but like those are even older gen ports. That would have been really cool.
The thing is that I'm sure a lot of the Switch owners probably do have a 3DS.
Yeah, but do they still play it now that they have Switch?
No, probably.
Because what happened with me? I got a Switch. I don't think I touched a 3DS. I don't want to say I haven't touched one, but I haven't really played 3DS games.
Mine's sitting on my desk at home.
I mean, I have.
That's it.
My only 3DS I still owns at my parents' house. Haven't touched it in years. I literally tried turning this on the other day. This is the old OG fat DS.
Oh, jeez.
Lord.
Lord.
Ancient.
Yeah.
But still works. Still functional.
Nice.
Amazingly so. I had to borrow a charger for it, but whatever. It was. I think a lot of things could have been different. The Wii U. Here's the thing. Bottom line is, I think Wii U led to Switch. So without Wii U, we wouldn't have Switch. So in other words, because I enjoy Switch so much, I'm kind of thankful Wii U happened. Yeah. And plus, there were a lot of good games on Wii U, and it kind of felt like, because hardly anyone owned one, it was kind of like, it almost was the console.
You almost kind of felt special.
It almost was the console.
Yeah,
like,
right?
Like, there was only 13.5 million of us. Like, we were a special 13. Let the 100 million PlayStation 4 have their fun, dude. Only 13.5 million of us truly understood how good Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze was. Only 13.5 million of us understood how good Zombie U was.
Yeah.
Before they ported it to everything. Don't blame them, though. I mean, you can't blame them.
No, definitely
not.
So,
the Wii U just had a lot of issues. The hardware itself kind of went over, like, you can't release like Xbox 360 hardware a year before the Xbox One comes out. You had the issue with the gamepad itself. It was expensive,
clunky.
People didn't like using it. In hindsight, looking back on it, it's like a Fisher Price tablet.
Yeah, kind of.
It didn't. Admittedly, I didn't feel that way at the time. But then when we got Switch, you started realizing, this is a sleek, professional, adult device.
Right.
That thing in comparison is a child's toy.
Yeah. Right.
And it just, it didn't feel like that at the time, but like in hindsight, it's like, man, that was kind of, like, it was comfortable.
Yeah.
I'll give you this. The Wii U gamepad was more comfortable to hold than the Switch. Hot take.
Ooh.
But, especially if you had big hands.
Oh, boy.
But it's still plasticky.
Yeah. No,
the fingerprints on it, because it had one of those gloss finishes.
Yeah.
Which looks beautiful in photos and video.
For sure.
Not so much in practical use. So they had that, and like some developers were scared away because they thought you have to use the gamepad, although Nintendo, to be fair, pretty much used it as an inventory system and nothing else. They did use it like for a few things in some games, but to be honest, Wii U, in case you guys didn't know, the idea for Wii U came from Miyamoto. Miyamoto is a software developer, not a hardware developer. So this is one of the first systems he truly basically said, I want to make this. And Iwata's like, yeah, that sounds like a cool idea.
The idea's not bad.
The problem is...
the execution was kind of not
Well,
good.
here's the thing. The problem is, I don't think Iwata and Miyamoto at the time bothered to ask any of their developers if they wanted that kind of system. Because almost every single Nintendo exclusive that came out for the thing did not do anything unique with the gamepad. In fact, some of the unique gamepad games didn't come out until Star Fox Zero in the final year that Switch was the Wii U was out. We finally got Star Fox Zero, which had forced controls in it. To try for Miyamoto to prove that it worked. And then we finally had one functional game that was nice with the gamepad in Star Fox Guard. And that was 4 to 4.5 years into the thing being out. They finally started using it, and it was only because Miyamoto used it.
Right.
Their actual developers had no interest in using that damn gamepad.
Or
for anything but inventory. For anything but the obvious, throw inventory on it. For anything but the obvious, they had no desire to use the damn gamepad.
Inventory, mini maps.
And I think ultimately, like, if you think about it, forget the third parties, forget the confusing naming.
Yeah, right.
I don't think Nintendo consulted their own people on whether or not that's even something they want to work on.
Yeah.
Switch feels like a device that developers want to work on. It didn't feel that way with Wii U.
No, I'll give you that one.
I love all the Wii U, like Tropical Freeze. It didn't do anything with that damn touchpad that mattered.
Yeah.
Like, well, you know, in New Super Mario Brothers U, like you could have someone like tap the screen and add a platform. You didn't need those additional platforms. It was a garbage mechanic from the get-go. You never needed it. The only thing that did something cool,
we got to figure out how to use this.
Nintendo Land had some cool uses for it, but again, you sold that to you for $60. They didn't pack it in to actually prove what the game like when they launched this is the thing. When they launched Wii, they gave you Wii Sports because Wii Sports explained what the Wii was about. Yeah. It explained the controls.
Yes.
So you hand us a tablet in our hands and say, figure out why it matters, and then you don't give us anything packed in to explain why this matters.
Yeah.
See, at least with the Switch, I always thought 1-2 Switch should have been a packing game.
Yeah.
But not all games use motion controls. You don't need it. It's cool. Like, here's the thing.
Right.
When Switch comes out, you don't need to explain the motion controls because it just makes sense as a handheld instantly with standard controls. It comes with a grip. It makes sense as standard control. So, like, standard controls were kind of pushed first. Yeah. So you didn't need 1-2 Switch packed in because it wasn't trying to explain a whole new control method. It was showing off the extra features of the Switch, but those were secondary.
Right.
Whereas the gamepad was a central point. It was at the front and center of all advertising. It's why people thought it was just an accessory. They didn't even notice that there was a box behind it.
Right.
The box is like the Wii U gamepad's like the same size as the damn box.
There is that.
There is that. Bad marketing.
It was.
Droughts. Oh, the droughts.
Yeah. But again, that was more than likely just because people didn't know how to write for the damn thing.
Well, think about it. Like, they had launch, and then they had a couple third-party games trickle out. Nintendo didn't release, have another game exclusive for the platform until, Lego City Undercover.
Yep.
And at the time, they had a companion game come out on 3DS or DS at the time.
Yep.
And then it was 9 months until we got another exclusive game. Even Switch last year, which had its droughts.
Right.
You still had Kirby. You still had Octopath Traveler and Mario Tennis. There wasn't a 9-month gap for exclusive.
Right.
Yeah, it felt like for some, it was a huge gap until Smash Bros. The only one I cared about.
Yeah.
But on Wii U, it didn't matter if it was only what you cared about. There just wasn't an exclusive game.
The only one you cared about was the only game.
Until Pikmin 3, there was a 9-month gap of no exclusives. That's unheard of on a Nintendo platform.
That is crazy.
Unless it's the last year of the platform.
Right.
So
yeah, but that's pretty much almost any platform, right?
Well, no, not Sony.
Well,
Sony hits the ground running every year.
Well, that's also because the fact though that it comes to both their old one and their new one a lot of times.
Sometimes. As an example, The Last of Us, critically acclaimed, masterpiece, considered one of the best games, one of the best games of all time, released on the final year of the PlayStation 3. It did come to PlayStation 4 the next year, but it released on PlayStation 3 as an exclusive. PlayStation 3 was pushing sales all the way. That's Sony's strategy is interesting. A lot of companies you'll wind down.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. People thinking, Sony sales are going to wind down this year. They're not going to be at E3. Sony still has a nice slate of exclusives coming. And PlayStation 4 is probably going to sell another 20 million this year heading into PlayStation 5 because that's what Sony does. Sony's strategy is keep the system selling well every year or have it selling near its peak sales performance at the end.
Yeah.
Because that's going to make people want to get the next one.
Right.
Even if they don't, because you always have the early adopters. But that means a year later, all those people that own PlayStation 3 that were buying it late will be like, maybe we should trade it in and get a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
So that's their strategy. Nintendo's we have a new system coming out. We're just done.
Yeah. No, I get
no new games for you. Or Color Slash. You get Color Slash.
Yeah.
Or the best game that's going to be on your platform, Breath of the Wild. We know it's so good. It's got to go on the next one.
Oh, right.
So there's so many reasons that I mean, there are some good things on Wii U. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Miiverse, I think, despite some of the issues, I miss it. I wish we had Miiverse today. Miiverse was a very cool social media Nintendo-only thing. Honestly, it's the biggest collection of Nintendo fans ever in one spot, and it was awesome. All the art. I missed some of the art. Heck, you could direct message people.
Whoa!
And they didn't charge us for that feature.
Whoa!
We got to watch Netflix on Wii U.
Holy crud! Wait, what? Hold on.
What other shade can I throw? There wasn't an online service.
Oh.
So even though everything was peer-to-peer, we didn't pay for it, so it was hard to complain. Then again, I will say Smash Bros. Smash Bros. 4 online on Wii U, it's worse than it is on Switch. It is a little bit better on Switch. Still not great, but it is better. All right. That being said, I think it's a nice transition to the next topic, Switch.
Yeah.
Because I think Switch isn't here without Wii U. So we have a little bit of news on Switch. First off, Switch hit 7 million in Japan.
Nice.
And that's a nice little number, a nice way to kick off 2019, blah, blah, blah. Well, it turns out that it is currently outpacing what the Wii sold in Japan.
That's crazy.
In terms of weeks on the market.
That is crazy.
And for those who want to know, the Wii itself only sold 12.75 million in Japan. So a majority of its sales were elsewhere in the world. Now, Japan's always been more of a handheld market, since Switch kind of serves handheld and home console. Right. It's not a surprise that Switch is going to surpass Wii pretty easily. Right. The question is if it's ever going to catch up to DS, 3DS, 24 million plus. But it's outpacing the Wii, which is the biggest home console success they've ever had. DS is the biggest success they've ever had. Whether or not you consider Switch a home console or not, Nintendo considers it a home console.
And that's all that matters to them.
That's all that matters for them. So Switch might end up being their second best or best-selling home console ever, depending on where the numbers end up. So the question I really have is, why is Switch successful? Wii U just seemed to do everything wrong. And we even just started this by kind of blasting Switch a little bit heading in about like mocking its online service, mocking its lack of features.
Right.
But in spite of all this, it's successful. Why? Like, you bought it day one. I know Breath of the Wild was a big reason, but like, it had to be more just Breath of the Wild. Something about the system.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we didn't even get to play Breath of the Wild on the system ahead of it. We played it on Wii U.
Right.
At E3.
Yeah.
So,
yes,
in your own words, like, why do you think Switch is such a big success?
I think, I know you said it's a little bit, that the Wii U is a little bit more better to hold in your hands. It does fit fairly well in your hands. It is, slightly a little clunky, but not terrible. The convenience of it, just to be able to take it and go and have, high quality games is amazing. And the fact that you can just take it and then just go, oh, I want to play on my TV now? Drop it in the dock, and there it is. It's a convenience factor. I really think it's the convenience factor.
Okay. Question now.
Yes.
I happen to know you didn't use it on a TV until Pokemon.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
I mean, maybe with Chris when you were playing Smash.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Well,
you
yeah.
played Smash on TV.
Yeah.
So my thing is, were you really using this any different than you would a DS or 3DS?
No, probably not, but it gives them the option to do it.
Just knowing you had the option, even if you weren't using it.
Yeah.
Just knowing that, you know what, if I want to put this on a TV.
Yeah.
Like, if you know, like Pokemon came out, you knew, hey, I could put this on a TV.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Smash came out, hey, I know I could put this on a TV.
Right. And I've used the dock.
I mean, heck, you still haven't put Breath of the Wild on TV yet. What's wrong with you? Oh, you have?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Finally.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome on the screen, but then when you get it on the big screen, you're
no, I know.
Oh, this is the world I'm a king of.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Welcome to my kingdom.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like. Anyways.
Yeah, right.
First time I put it on this big screen down here, I was like, oh, I don't care that it's a little pixelated because that's 4K. This is my world. Yeah, like, one thing, like, we talked about a little bit before during the Wii U topic, and I think part of it, like, the design itself is just sleek.
Yeah.
You look at this, like, and you got a phone here, like, I mean, look at that. It's like the same size. Like, the tablet part's like a little bit bigger than my phone. Mm-hmm. The only thing that feels a little off in today's world are the giant bezels.
Right.
But we'll get into that in a later topic. Right. But it's like it just feels like a device an adult would be okay being seen holding.
Right. Yeah.
The Wii U gamepad felt like you were holding a toy. This feels like you're holding something special, something different. So even just, especially if you take the Joy-Cons off and you're just like, dude, it's just,
right there.
It's
just
a
tablet.
It's a phablet, man. You're just
I
mean, you can't do that, Nintendo. Maybe you should get on that, but like it's just such a sleek, interesting concept, easy to understand.
Right.
I think is one thing this thing had over Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
Wii U's advertising, people weren't sure if it's an accessory, what it is, and all that. This right away, as soon as you hear the word Switch, you're just like,
wait, it does what?
Then you see you see the commercials, you see the box. So grab the box for a second. Okay, because remember how like the box for Wii U was confusing, right? So it has this right on one side of the box. So you have what might confuse people. You have like this thing in a dock thing with his fingers on it and this weird looking dog controller. But then you flip it around, and it's like, oh, the Switch. It could be this or this.
I mean, when I first heard the name before they actually like showed the concept of it, I'm like, Switch.
I mean, look at the advertising on the sides.
Right.
Like the commercial, like it just made like the moment when they unveiled this thing back in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that commercial. Or that was a commercial. It was just an unveiling trailer or whatever. The guy's playing Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And I remember being excited because it was the first time we saw Hinox.
Yeah.
I was in that thing.
Yeah, right.
We're like, what is that?
Oh,
that's awesome. Okay, the dog's barking at the door and has to go potty.
Uh-huh.
The guy turns off his TV, walks over to the system, picks it up out of the dock. The game is right there and walks out the door to walk his dog. Instantly, it's like, oh my, why is nobody doing this?
Right, exactly.
Why did it take this? Why wasn't Wii U there?
Right.
Like, instant understanding of that makes so much sense.
Oh, it switches from there to here. I like it.
Yeah, and then like even like the Switch sound effect, like
yeah, right.
What is that sound effect?
Yeah.
It's the one they included when you connect a Joy-Con like this, when it's on, of course.
That
it goes. It's why? Because you're switching the form factor of how you're playing.
Yeah, or
it makes
it's also the kind of the sound too is when you get the
and then you.
Switch plugged into your dock too. It kind of
and then even though they had some weird situations too, like Karen. Oh, Karen.
Oh God.
Oh, this is one of the things we might talk about in another topic about the kickstand. But like Karen would would bust this thing out, set it down, and get like 1-2 switch going, grabs the controller off, or like suddenly they're playing Mario Kart sideways, and you're like, okay, that doesn't look comfortable.
Yeah,
like this doesn't look comfortable.
No, it doesn't look comfortable at all.
But it kind of made sense. Mm-hmm. It's like you take it off and you're like, oh, you get the 4 buttons, the steering, you got the 2 shoulder. That makes sense. It doesn't look comfortable, and admittedly, it's not the most comfortable way to play.
It's not, but it's not terrible though either.
It's acceptable. It's better with kids. It's better with kids' hands.
Right. I've had worse experiences.
Yeah, you want to know what's the worst experience? The Game Boy Micro.
I don't know if I've ever played one.
Okay. God, this thing kickstand. I know this isn't an OG kickstand, but anyways, the Game Boy Micro was like this big.
Oh, good God.
Play Game Boy Advance games, and you're just like,
oh, good God. No.
It was bad. The thing is, the idea was probably for it to be for kids.
Right.
But like,
no.
It was no.
Yeah.
That should not have existed. I guess it's kind of cool as a novelty item for collectors now, but like I think just the design itself.
Yeah.
Just it made so much sense. I mean, no one understood the camera at the time. Like, it doesn't matter. Taking the Joy-Cons off, instant multiplayer. Mm-hmm. Well, what does that remind you? Oh yeah, you can kind of do that on Wii. A couple Wiimotes. That made sense.
Yeah.
But then like, oh wait, the guy's playing like a traditional Zelda game or Skyrim,
right?
Like right there, or right. Like it's just like, oh my gosh, this system looks like a system that does it all. Mm-hmm. This is the Wii successor. This is a traditional home console. This is the successor to the 3DS. This is the successor to the Vita. This is the successor to the Wii U. This is everything in one system.
Yeah.
And that's before we even get to the games.
Yeah, right.
It was just everything in one.
Right.
And obviously it helps to have a launch game like Breath of the Wild.
Definitely.
Because Breath of the Wild grabbed the attention of hardcore gamers everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 2016 especially.
Mm-hmm.
It really, that E3, it grabbed a whole bunch of awards, had all the attention, much deserved.
Oh, definitely.
And then you're like, okay, because it was a weird E3 too, because Nintendo told us Breath of the Wild's coming on our next platform, the NX. It's coming on the NX.
The NX, yep.
It's going to be a launch game on NX. And you're just like, okay, but we're playing it on Wii U. So, like, it's amazing. It's utterly awesome. What is the NX?
Right. Yeah,
what is this thing?
What is the difference going to be?
So, like, they had this launch game that was attracting the hardcore gamers, adults, and everything. Like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, I got to play this Zelda game one way or another. Got to play this Zelda game. And then this is what you unveil it's going to be on? Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh, well, that can't be as powerful as it's more powerful than a Wii U.
Yeah, right. Wait, what? What? How?
So you're telling me I can get this sleek, sexy-looking system that has all these multiple forms to it, and it comes with Breath of the Wild at launch?
Yeah.
Done.
Right.
And I think that was like that combination of the killer launch title that attracted adults combined with like not only an awesomely designed system, but a killer marketing strategy. Every commercial heading into launch was nothing but young adults.
Right.
You didn't see grandparents. You didn't see little kids. It was all young adults.
Also, everything was, it felt all of their commercials were like up-paced, fast tempo, get you excited, get you into it.
Yeah, even the Super Bowl commercial. Right. It's like, one, they don't always have commercials at the Super Bowl. They did, and it just made sense. It's like, well, everything about the system just made sense. And again, I have my criticisms.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, dude, even today, like, think about this. In just under 3 months from now, this Switch and yours will be 2 years old. At least officially since we bought it.
Right.
Manufactured probably 6 months before or whatever.
Right.
2 years old. And I'm still sitting here in 2019, and I'm like, this thing is still slick. Mm-hmm. This is still unlike anything I've ever touched.
Oh, for sure.
And I owned a Vita briefly. I owned a PSP. Systems I thought were sleek. This is like a whole new level.
Oh, definitely.
This feels like something I am proud to walk around with. And I think that more than anything, I think what this was a reminder for Nintendo of, not only because Nintendo was always of mind, if we have a killer software title, people will buy the hardware. Fine, cool. That was something they always said. If we have the software, people will show up. Granted, I understand that mentality because we buy systems to play games.
Right.
So if you have the killer games, people will buy the system to play it regardless. That was their idea. Well, I think Wii U had a lot of killer games.
Right.
But the Wii U itself wasn't an attractive system.
Right.
It looked bulky. It looked childish. It didn't make sense. It looked expensive. None of it made sense on the market. The system itself is attractive. Regardless of like, Breath of the Wild was a huge reason. But even if it wasn't Breath of the Wild, say they launched with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, a Wii U port of all things.
Right.
I think it still would have sold like hotcakes.
Oh, yeah.
Because the system itself is attractive. And if there's one thing I hope Nintendo learns from all of this, is that for lack of a better term, having a system that has sex appeal is something that matters. This is what PlayStation's been doing forever.
Oh, yeah.
PlayStation's brand, until very recently, very weird what Sony's trying to do right now and trying to become family friendly all of a sudden. Yeah. But Sony's brand up until now has always been like, we're the sleek system. We're the sexy system. We're the adult system. We're the system you feel proud to tell people you own when you're in your 40s.
But wait, I thought they were the ones that could best protect the kids.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, and now they're now censoring third-party games on their platform from like showing cleavage and stuff. It's real. I don't know. Like, I don't know what Sony's doing. They're trying to be Nintendo now, and I just don't get it.
After bashing Nintendo not too long ago.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand it, but whatever. Especially, I really don't understand with Sony, because PlayStation 4 is about to cross 100 million units, right? PlayStation 1 sold 101. PlayStation 2 sold 155. Oh, no, their worst-selling system, PlayStation 3, sold 84 million. Like, all of their systems have been way more successful than Nintendo's. So, like, why go after the market that Nintendo not only kind of owns, but is clearly smaller than the market you have? Like, the Wii and DS era combined, sure, amazing. No one's been able to touch that.
Right.
But the thing is, the Wii on its own, like, for all the massive Blue Ocean strategy and all the success it did, it still just touched what PlayStation 1 did. And when PlayStation 1 wasn't for everyone.
Right.
So, I don't know why Sony wants to suddenly turn. Especially when like their system's about to cross 100 million, might get up to 120 when it's all said and done. It's like, why change strategies? You have like the perfect spot in the marketplace.
Yeah.
And you basically own it to yourself right now. This kind of sort of appeals to that market a little bit, but not entirely.
Right.
Xbox gained a little bit of market with Xbox One X, but PlayStation's still massively the king. So it's like, why? But whatever. You know what?
Yeah.
I don't understand what they're doing. I guess I don't have to understand what they're doing.
Look for a new Sony podcast. No, wait.
Yeah, I really don't understand what they're doing. But I don't understand what Nintendo does half the time either, to be honest. Does anybody?
There is that. Half the time I wonder if Nintendo knows what they're doing.
But like this system, just everything about this system is just...
Right.
Yeah,
I mean...
as soon as I saw that commercial in 2016 when they showed off the NX's Switch, I'm like, this thing's going to explode. I mean, not only does it make sense, not only does it this, not only that. What's one issue that all the Nintendo platforms have kind of had for a while? Game droughts. Some people argue it still happens because they're still supporting the 3DS.
Yeah.
The idea of Switch, at least what it felt like at the time, is it would be the 3DS and Wii U, but all the games put together on one platform. And we have had that to an extent, but this is the year when it's really happening. We're getting a Fire Emblem game when we haven't had a Fire Emblem one on a home console. We just had a Pokemon, we're getting another Pokemon game. So now we're starting to get the games that were handheld. I'm sure we'll get a Monster Hunter here eventually. Yokai Watch is supposed to come this year. So Ace Attorney's coming as well. So like, there's a lot of games coming. God, there's a lot of games coming this year. And that's not even getting into all of them. Animal Crossing, that's back again. We haven't seen that on a home console since what? City Folk? I think on Wii,
sure,
something like that. So, I get why this was successful. Why it's still successful. Why in 2019 they're still selling a tablet for $300 that might even be underpowered compared to this.
Theoretically, yeah.
But they get away with it anyways because it's just such a well put together platform. It makes sense. It's simple. Even the cartridges. It's like, oh, the cartridges are expensive and this and that. But doesn't it make sense on a platform like this?
Mm-hmm.
Way more than Sony when they were using the UMD discs. And it just makes sense. Of course you're using cartridges on this. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, right.
You don't want to have to install every game.
Right.
The cartridges are faster, so you don't need to do game installs. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, they're basically mini PCs now. You install games.
Yeah.
You don't have to install in here. Well, if you buy a third-party game, then there's probably like a 9 gig download in addition to the thing because the cartridges are expensive, but whatever. It's
here nor there.
It uses micro SD cards. Just made sense. Like, of course you use micro SD cards. Why wouldn't you?
It feels like a phone. It feels like a tablet. It feels like something that you'd slide.
Now, I'm just like rubbing it right now, and I'm like, dude, this is nice.
That is definitely something that screams, put a card in me.
Hold on, credit card.
Yeah, right.
Wait, it's already got that on there from me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think just Nintendo nailed it out of the park.
It did.
And we're in 2019, and it still works. And I think that's important because the next topic we have here is about a Switch revision.
Yes.
Lots of rumors, lots of speculation about a Switch revision this year.
Yeah.
Whatever. Michael Patcher says we're getting a Mini. Some people think we're getting an XL. According to the Wall Street Journal, who was the first place that had legit rumors about it, or at least rumors perceived to be legit, they were the ones that saying that we're going to get a revision this year and that something with the screen is going to change. But that doesn't really tell you much. It could still be a Mini. It could just be getting rid of the bezel. Like, to me, an XL can be the exact same size, but get rid of the bezel.
Right.
I mean, you're basically gaining a whole inch in space.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, like, getting rid of the bezel alone would already be an XL. So, to me, that's a really logical change. But
definitely.
But the thing is we're in 2019, and as relevant as this still is, I do think there are things that need to be changed here that have just cropped up over the last 2 years. One example is obviously the kickstand. I was just fumbling with it earlier. My kickstand's not broken yet. Like, it still works. But, like, I know how many people I've seen that, like, go like this and their kickstand just floppy.
Not even just kickstand. 2 kickstands. The fact that it's that wide and only relies on 1 kickstand...
No.
Doesn't...
It's not even the 1 kickstand. It's the...
Well, there's that.
It's the location of the kickstand.
Right.
Okay?
It's either... It's not in the middle.
It's not in the middle. So, like, when you have it here... This just makes it a fail point by pushing on the opposite side of the kickstand. Now,
that's why I'm thinking
what it should be is like at least twice as wide and in the middle.
Or 2 on the outside.
Or one on each side.
Yeah.
Like I have with those the switchblades where they have like one on each side. Like, but like there's no real points of actuation with it. Well, because you set it like this.
I think the reason why they went with those small one on the side is because the fan. I think these are fans here, aren't they?
Air vents.
Air vents? Yeah.
The only fan is up here at the top by the vent.
But yeah, so they went with the air vents. So unless they had something, I guess that they couldn't put they could have put the air vents on the outside and put one bigger in the middle. I don't know.
But then like, the kickstand could have been wider on the back. The kickstand could have been wider on the back. Air vents could have stayed right where it is. The air vent could have went through the kickstand. And then when you lift the kickstand up, there's just that a thin layer, before, so you can't touch anything inside. So the air vent's still there. So all you're doing is when you close the kickstand, you still have the air vents. When you open it, the air vents are working too. Like there's no reason that couldn't happen.
Right.
Definitely. Even like it wouldn't have had to affect this.
Yeah.
Like this little notch they put in the middle.
Yeah. What is that for?
That's for lining up the.
Oh.
They could have just put a notch over here and over here and still have it line up in the dock just fine.
The dock to me still kind of seems a little. It was poorly built. I don't like. I'm not a big fan of the dock.
What don't you like about it?
Where do the cords plug into the dock? It doesn't seem natural. The angle that you have to try to get into the dock. There's too much. The cords stick out too far back into the dock. That for me, I have a hard time plugging the cords in.
You're the first person I think I've ever heard said they have a hard time plugging the cords in.
My friend Kyle picked up my Switch dock and went, yeah, you're right. This is kind of ridiculous.
But it's easier than plugging it into the back of the TV. It's like the same design. It's just sideways.
I don't know.
And you lift the cover plate.
I don't know what it is.
It's literally like plugging it in a TV. And I'm not saying that plugging into the back of the TV is always like the most convenient thing in the world.
Yeah, but
the dock's not meant to be moved, so it's just meant to be plugged in once and left there.
Every time I've tried to plug that damn thing in, I've had so many problems with it, and sometimes it just doesn't accept it. Like the power. I don't know if it's something wrong with my dock itself, but sometimes it just doesn't get power. And I'm like, I have to I unplug it, and even though USB-C is theoretically, you can just flip it over and plug it back in. Yeah. I've unplugged it, flipped it over, plugged it back in.
It sounds like you have a broken dock.
Kinda.
That you wouldn't know because you didn't use it early enough to use the warranty. So yeah, I can understand, especially if you have a broken dock. But if you ever have like an issue plugging in the HDMI cable,
yeah, that's what I was talking about. It
only goes in one way.
No, I realize that, but it just the distance it is away from the back of the back of the dock, and the distance it is away from the do you have
the dock's over there all plugged in.
Right. The distance it is away from the cord entry, it may just be the cord that I have, but it seems like it's so rigid.
What, did it come with a cord?
I think so. Maybe.
I mean, it did.
Yeah.
I know it did. It's a gray one, I think.
Yeah.
And because that one wasn't very rigid.
Right. Maybe it's just the rigidity of the cord or something. But for some odd reason,
the way it goes in the dock is it goes in through you lift up the panel.
Right.
There's a slot. It goes in. Well, you don't have to plug it. You don't have to use the slot until after you plug it in. Whatever. It goes into the slot and it only has to bend down like that. It's like hardly any bend.
Like I said,
you must have like what kind of? Are you using like a military grade cable over there?
No.
Like even the cable, the expensive one we use for my camera that you bought, like that. Yeah. Not even that one's that rigid.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to bring my dock in, or maybe it's just I'm stupid. But
I don't know. Well, you know what? Maybe we should do a dock discussion video sometime. Yeah. And then dive deeper into this with your dock versus my dock and see what the differences are.
Yeah.
And then actually, Melody has a Switch. My daughter got a Switch at her other dad's house, and actually, I'm curious about grabbing her dock, see if there's any differences between what. Because I've heard they added padding in now that we don't have. That was the big thing. The scratching.
Well, right. Yep.
Padding. So like I heard that's in there now, and I've never actually seen it because I haven't buy a new Switch. So it would be actually cool. Like have a dock discussion.
Yeah.
And maybe even grab like I have that one little portable dock. Just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think we should have a bigger discussion on that because that's more of a accessory discussion. I mean, it's part of the system, the core part of the system, but it's not the system. But yeah, let's say that for another discussion.
No, definitely.
What you're talking about sounds like we need to get some hands-on in person and figure this out.
Right.
Grab some cords and get a plug over here and just start going to town and see what the hell's going on.
If cords actually make a difference,
or that little TV I have and just see what's going on.
If cords make a difference, if it's something just else, or if it's just me, it definitely could be just me. But even my friend Kyle, like I said,
and let's say you're telling me it's not.
He's an engineer. He can plug stuff in too. I mean,
engineers, they always seem to they look at something and they just instantly think everything that's wrong with what they're looking at.
Yeah, no, I know.
So to them, it's already wrong.
Right.
So it automatically just makes it harder because they're overthinking it.
Right. No,
I know that because I have some engineer friends and they just overthink everything.
Right.
Like that's over-engineered. That's under-engineered. Or in their mind, they're over-engineering everything, even though they think they're making it simplistic.
Right.
It's just how they would prefer it to be done.
No, definitely.
Oh, it would make more sense if it just plugged straight into the back. I'm like, yeah, but then it won't sit flush against walls. Oh, well, then you just make a swivel one. No, then you're adding a point of potential braking.
Right. No,
for
all
these, it's like,
sure.
I got a solution to everything. Before you get to it, you've over-engineered the hell out of the dock. Definitely. And now the dock's $200 instead of $90.
Yeah.
But it'll be one hell of a dock.
Right. But as for, revisions-wise, what else can be improved? I think the way it is, the size it is right now is perfect. The screen size, getting rid of the bezels and stuff. Yeah.
All they need to do screen side wise is just get rid of the bezel.
I saw your video, part of your video on the quote unquote mini one.
Okay. Yeah, the Switch Mini. Okay.
I stopped watching it because I wanted to form my own opinion on it.
Sure. No, go
the first thing I thought of before you even touched on it in the video, the first thing I thought of when I saw it is, how in the hell are you going to use motion controls?
Buy an extra set of Joy-Cons. That's what everyone told me.
Right.
I'm like, so what you're saying is the point of the Switch Mini was to get the price down to $200 or under.
And then you're going to
buy... But then you get to buy an $80 accessory.
$80 accessory. Yep. Exactly.
I honestly think... I outlined in the video. You didn't finish it. But I outlined in the video how they can hit a $200 price point with this.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
There's going to be a discount on it for the holidays this year, so it's going to be down to $250. If you go down to $250, but then you take out the dock and just sell this on its own, $200. Done. Done deal. You already have it. It's there. You're done.
Right.
Period. All they need is one price cut, and this is $200 if they take out the dock.
Yeah.
There's your Switch Mini.
Yeah.
So now you're just buying just the handheld, but you still have the option to use it with all currently existing Switch accessories and Switch docks. There's no difference between the devices. Done deal.
Right.
Done. Absolutely done. Done. Like later on, you're
Right.
like, oh, I really do want to play it on my TV. Cool, just buy a dock.
Yeah. Right. No, for sure.
Done.
Right, for sure. Another thing I could think of that would...
I think people just want a smaller system that's pocket sized. I think
Right.
that's the idea. Is that if the 3DS is going to go away,
I
they
can fit
want
that in my pocket.
I know, but we're I have
no,
no
I know.
pockets.
I know.
I like people want a pocket-sized version.
No, I get it. I get it.
I get the desire, but like, what isn't one of like the
But-
major complaints? And this is one I don't know if they could do about the fact that these like this is kind of
Buttons are
small buttons
tiny.
and small joysticks.
Yeah.
Like we kind of deal with it, and it's pretty solid
you
and handheld.
mini-
But like if you make that even smaller, I don't.
Right. That was the next thing I was going to say. If anything, they could actually maybe not necessarily expand the width of the screen, but the height to just make it just a little bit taller. That way, if you do take the Joy-Cons off, it gives you a little bit more real estate for people with a little bit larger hands. You know what I'm saying?
If the Joy-Cons are off, why are you holding it in your hand?
What? No, the Joy-Cons.
What about them?
So it would extend. So it would extend the screen up and the Joy-Con, make them a little bit.
So you'd have to get a new Joy-Con.
Well, if you got the new Switch, you would get the new Joy-Cons. You know what I'm saying? Or you could make an extension, I guess, if you wanted to.
Or what they do is they make new Joy-Cons that like fit this bigger model that you're thinking of. That could still slot into the current dock because it would still be USB-C. It would just be a bigger tablet.
Right.
What they do is the rails are the same. It's compatible with all of these, but they release a new version of the Joy-Cons that are bigger but can even slide onto this one too. Yeah, they might extend a little bit past like this, like up here, but it'd be a more comfortable hold.
Right.
So it would still work on
Right,
old
exactly.
Switches, too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That I could see that.
Or
How
even,
about this? How about Nintendo? How about you just do the most obvious thing to do? Have a whole bunch of different styles of Joy-Cons. Why is it just one style with different colors?
Yeah,
Why do we not have one with a D-pad? Well, I'm sorry, we do.
There's that, yeah.
Hori makes one. Why can't Nintendo make one?
Right. Or even like this too, where you have the extended Joy-Cons here, and then you have just a bar that kind of goes across here, so it doesn't have that extra sticking up that can get caught on something.
Well, plus like this, you can sell Joy-Cons that have an extra grip on the back. Yep. Oh, but we sell a battery expansion. No, only just make. We don't need a battery expansion. I don't need longer Here's the thing. You know when I need longer battery life? When it's hooked up into the grip. But the battery expansion packs aren't useful on the grip. So what's the point of your official battery accessory?
You need a battery expansion when your Joy-Cons don't last as long as your Switch battery. Because here's the thing. You take these off, you take this into handheld mode, and it's not into the thing,
and
you're not pulling it off, your Switch, your Joy-Cons are going to last longer than your Switch.
Oh, yeah.
So
you don't need them in this
You don't need a battery
you don't need them in this
for the
mode.
Switch, or for the Joy-Cons.
The only time you would need it is if it's docked and you're using these on the grip.
Right.
But even then, like, the battery expansion doesn't fit on the grip. So what?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a pointless accessory. I mean, granted, obviously, like especially with Let's Go, you play it like this, maybe it'll make it more comfortable in your hand. I understand that, but
I mean, these have a decent battery life.
They've never felt like you need nor bad. Nintendo's actually really killed it with their wireless battery life on Joy-Cons, on Pro Controllers, on everything.
Yeah,
they've done a really good job with that.
Yeah,
I think like if nothing else, one of the common fail points of these Joy-Cons are little.
Yeah.
So there's a little button you hit on the back to lift it up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's this little notch in here. You guys have probably all seen it by now. It's hard to get a good look at it on a podcast, but it's plastic. And what happens is if you push up on this hard enough, the plastic will wear down, and all of a sudden you'll have loose Joy-Cons where they're flying off. Mm-hmm. Or if you happen to put on the little, what do they call that? The switch.
The shoulder.
Yeah,
the extenders.
The shoulder extenders, but it's actually also a grip
with
so
the wrist slap,
whatever that's called,
strap.
The switch strap things. Like if you put those on upside down, which it's easier to do than it should be, then to get them off, you kind of have to break the lock to get them off.
Well, the thing is the fact that it can go on more than one way.
Well, that's just because the rail is just that little. The design of the rail is kind of similar.
But
I get how it could happen. There should be something that blocks
exactly.
it.
It's not
maybe
that
not
hard.
even on the rail, but on the actual thing you slide on.
That's what I'm saying.
You try to slide on. Oh, that only will push. Like there'll be a little thing that pushes in, like a little spring-loaded thing that pushes in, but it only pushes in if you put it in the right way. If you go the opposite direction, it doesn't go anywhere.
Or you put a little cap on the outside of the one part of the rail so that it only slides in.
Yeah, but they wanted it to be. I don't know. There's something they could have done. I don't know.
Or put like a
zillion designs.
Or when you slide it on, it has like some sort of marking.
It has a marking.
Oh, then but is it like visual marking or is it a physical?
There's a plus marking and a minus marking.
But is it
minus lines up with the minus? The
can
plus
you feel it?
Yeah, it's a little groove. But like the thing is, it's still just it's not noticeable enough.
Right.
That's why people were putting it on upside down because
right.
they just you just slide it on.
Yeah.
My thing is, I already fixed the problem on my Joy-Cons because that happened to mine. It didn't happen from putting those things on the wrong way.
Sorry.
What? Did you do it?
Yeah. Remember, it fell off the top of your fridge.
Oh yeah, that's.
Whoops.
You bastard.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's right. My Switch was in mint condition until that. Ever since then, I've let my kids use it.
Well,
it's been beaten.
That part's not my fault.
Well, because the back was cracked.
That part's not my fault.
My Joy-Cons were scuffed.
That part's not my. The only part that's my fault was the little tab breaking.
There were other little marks on it. I just didn't say anything about because I'm like, whatever. Okay. Anyways, the point is that once that happened, I'm like, well, it's not brand new anymore, so I guess there's no point keeping it away from my kids.
Not my fault. You put it on the top of the damn fridge
to keep it away from my kids.
I just opened the door.
Why were you in my fridge?
I don't remember.
You
asked me to give me something.
All my soda's in the basement, so why?
You asked me to get something. Actually,
You're taller than me.
No.
You're taller than me.
I didn't see it up there. I didn't know it was up there. Actually,
catch it.
Yeah.
You know how many things every time I open the fridge, I gotta catch something that drops from the top. A lot of things.
I don't live here. I don't go in your fridge too often. No, what happened was I was pretty sure I'm pretty sure I was babysitting your kids.
You were. It happened when I was home.
And I was getting Ollie some milk. That's what it was.
You texted me like, dude, I think I broke your Joy-Cons, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What did you do? It fell off the top. Oh crap, that's right. I didn't tell you it was up there.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
Anyways, I already fixed it. It was
Yeah.
a real simple fix. You take apart the Joy-Con, you replace the plastic piece with a metal one, done. Haven't had a problem, haven't had any wear and tear. Easy, simple improvement, cost Nintendo like a penny. Mm-hmm. Not even a penny. So that's an improvement I want to see. And they can do that now. They don't even need to wait for a revision. All future Joy-Cons they sell could just have that.
Yeah.
Outside of that, like getting rid of the bezel, better kickstand, fixing that part, that could be a Switch revision all on its own.
Yeah, right.
That's your new Nintendo Switch. That's just a slightly better Switch, better kickstand. Obviously, we can talk about specs.
Right.
It's easy to say we want better specs.
Right.
I'm a tech guy. Of course I want better specs.
Well, right.
Give me a $600 Switch that plays Xbox One X level stuff. Let's go. Let's do it. I'll buy it.
Ooh, God,
I'll buy that right now. Let's get Red Dead Redemption 2 on the go, baby. Let's go. In 4K.
That's a sexy
4K
concept.
dock. Let's go.
That's a sexy concept.
I will buy that.
Right.
But most people aren't going to buy it.
No.
So what I want to happen is unrealistic.
Right. Also, the heat dissipation on that thing.
Well, it'll probably be twice as thick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I don't mind twice as thick. It's kind of like, it's kind of crampy, a little extra beef.
It almost feels, but the thing is,
a little extra beef. Then it starts feeling like a Wii U tablet, but still.
Right. The other thing I kind of have about this is I feel like I can almost just pick it up and just kind of snap it.
Probably could.
That's the other thing. Granted, I don't want beef, but it does feel like I could just go. And
where's the beef?
Right, and then I think that's how people end up with Switch Bend, is that they don't even try, but they're holding it and they kind of push a little bit in on like the Joy-Cons. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting situation though, because people were getting the bending without ever even taking it out of the dock. Mm-hmm. And then we found out that some docks were warped. So if your Switch stays in it and it heats up and everything kind of molds to the dock.
Yep.
So like there was a lot of things with that. That's just a inner design flaw where they just have to figure out why is the Switch heating up so much that the plastic or the metal is bending.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously when plastic and metal heat up, it's more pliable. But like
it shouldn't.
The way that they do the plastics and the metal should be that this thing can't even get close to hot enough to bend it.
Right. And the fact that they only have one fan and then 2 air vents at the bottom. Why didn't they have like a couple other air vents at the top?
This is more powerful and has no fans.
That is also true.
You just need better heat dissipation.
There is also that.
Now, at the time, it was like one of the most powerful tablets in the world, so like, I get it. I don't mind that there's fan. Like, think about it. What do they do with phones now? Now it's all liquid vapor.
Yeah,
that's what Xbox One X uses.
Right.
Like, if they switch it to a liquid vapor design,
yeah,
that alone might even get rid of the need of a fan.
Right.
So that's what high-end phones are using. It is a little bit more expensive, but it would also get rid of a moving part in the Switch, which gets rid of a point of failure. Moving parts are more prone to failure than non-moving parts.
Right.
And there are people that have, well, it's not as bad. Like, I've seen people who have these grates melted off on top, but even if you look underneath it, there's still like a whole metal thing.
Yeah,
right,
right.
You're not going to get it or anything.
I know
those are like the metal heat fins or whatever.
The biggest flaw right now in mine is
I don't know. By the way, how are people melting off?
I don't know.
I don't know. I live in Wisconsin, so it's colder here, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe if I lived in Cali, it would be just normal.
Maybe
to melt those off.
Yeah.
I don't
know. My biggest flaw in my Switch right now is, besides my screen protector having a crack in it, small one.
I don't even have a screen protector.
Right. Is I have a crack.
I like to live dangerously.
Right. I have a crack that goes like the plastic right around my headphone jack. Really weird place.
Is it on the back plate or is it like
on the front plate?
Okay.
On the front plate, it goes up.
Of course,
it's like from here, and it just small crack right into the.
Did you ever drop it?
I don't think so. I don't know what the heck caused it. I don't think I have dropped my Switch. It's possible that I have. And
the cracks I always get are the ones back by the screws. Like I have one already, like right here.
Yep.
And that's one reason I originally replaced the back plates because this corner up here was cracked all the way like this, so it really wasn't even attached up here.
Right.
So that's what made me put on this new backplate. And I'll probably put on a different backplate again someday. I'm actually thinking about the next time I swap backplates. I might not go all out on the backplate, but I want to go all out on Joy-Con swaps and then like put custom shells on. And then I might get like a new thing. And
I got it.
Switch.
No, I got it. You get a plain white one or a plain black one.
Yeah.
Plain. No switch if you can.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you can.
You plop the Nintendo Prime logo on it.
You can still do that with this on here. It would cover it up.
Yeah, you could.
But no. Because I can only do it with a sticker. I'm not a professional. I mean, you could paint it on and then clear coat it. But, like, you know how long it's going to take me to paint that? It would be pretty sick. Because you could tape it and make it really easy to do.
You get those make your own tattoos, like the hand tattoos.
Yeah.
You do that, and then you put a small clear coat over the top of it.
Tattoo it on.
And then you put a small clear coat it. There you go. There you go.
I got to test it to see if one of those water tattoos would even go on one of these matte ones. I guess I can grab my old one and see if it would go on there.
Yeah, there you go. Nintendo Pro Switch.
Oh, that would be pretty sick, to be honest.
Yeah, what?
Oh, man.
Wow, we got way off
topic.
The
ideas you come up with. I mean, what? We're talking about improving the Switch. Just because it's only improving my Switch.
You're right.
I'm going to have to sell those. As soon as we do that, people are going to be like, oh, can I buy that from you? I'm like, oh, my gosh, I'm going to have to make it for you. So, well, if you want it with install, you got to pay to ship it to me, and I'm going to charge $100 to do it all. I'm like, if you want to do it yourself, it probably costs me $10 for the backplate, plus my time, plus the money for the clear coat. $50.
Yeah, right.
At that point, do you really want? Maybe some people really do want that Nintendo Prime faceplate glory, baby.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you guys want. Only you guys do.
Yeah.
But like, there's so many like even spec wise, like if they were going to improve the specs, I think there's been a lot of talk with the Tegra X2, which isn't really a chip that kind of exists. It's sort of something else entirely different. Mm-hmm. If theoretically the one that's out there that's comparable is faster, same architecture. I honestly think if there was going to be a new chip, it would be almost one they haven't even announced yet. Mm-hmm. It's currently being designed.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But that you'd figure would...
Like, I'm not like thinking like, oh, this thing needs to be base PlayStation 4 power by the time the PlayStation 5 hits.
Right. No. For sure.
Switch is its own thing. It doesn't need to be that.
Right.
What it does need to be, if it wants to keep getting games like Doom, though, is it does need to be close enough.
Right.
And with PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2 on the horizon, they eventually have to have a Switch come out that like can get close enough. Mm. But I don't know when they need to do that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
2022, 2023?
Maybe. Yeah.
Definitely not this year.
Right.
They're fine for this year.
Right. I don't know. What type of screen does it have in it? Would there be something else that could possibly like make it better, like a better screen?
I think it's a TN panel. Well,
what? Actually,
I'm not sure if they're all TN.
The other thing too,
sure this one's TN.
the actual like
not TN. TN's the one that has various quality. It's the why can't I think of it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways,
But the other thing too is that they could actually do a better like overlay glass. Because I know this one's isn't it kind of plasticky-ish?
Okay,
it doesn't scratch fairly easy.
Here, hold on.
Sorry.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what it is the LCD or whatever is just an LCD.
Right. Yeah,
but the front plate they have in front of it is plastic. It's not glass.
Right.
But that's not on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, what do we have to worry about with our phones all the time?
Shattering screens.
What do you never have to worry about with Switch? What's worse, a scratch or a shatter?
Yeah. Well,
these screens bounce.
Yeah.
Because they're plastic.
Mm-hmm.
So they get scuffed, they get scratched, but they still work.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what Nintendo was doing. Because Nintendo has always been about durability, which is ironic why there's such a weak plastic thing connecting these Joy-Cons.
For sure.
But the Switch itself is still pretty durable. Mm-hmm. And part of that is, like, think about this. My kids have been using this. Yeah, it gets smudges and everything. My screen still works. I've watched them drop that thing.
Yeah.
If it was glass, you know how this thing would have been shattered a long time ago.
Yeah.
So
no, I get you.
So that's the thing. I'm not saying they shouldn't have a glass model, but honestly, it's fixed with a screen protector. All they have to do is just pack in a screen protector.
Yeah.
Have a pre-applied one.
Yeah, pre-applied one. Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's not that difficult of a fix. So I like the plastic design, especially for kids. Kids are now starting to buy it.
Right.
And I think for kids, it makes sense.
Okay. No, I get you. No,
But I understand. Like, as an adult, that's what it feels like. I'm touching this now. It feels okay, but I can tell it's plastic. When I had the glass protector on, they're like, oh, it's such a nice, more premium feel. Mm-hmm. And I get that. But it's also, again, they're trying to think of everyone who might buy it.
No, definitely. And I get that. Yeah, for sure.
Because thankfully, there's not a widespread problem with, my Switch screen is shattered. Like, it's not a widespread problem. Why isn't it a widespread problem? Because it's not the kind of screen that really shatters. It's pretty difficult to shatter a Switch. Mm-hmm. You'd have to try to, or be very unlucky on how you drop it.
And there's that.
Okay, so I think we talked a lot about the improvements or what we would like to see happen. Now, we didn't talk as much on the Switch Mini as I thought we might.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the concept of a Mini.
I get the idea of it for people who want to be portable only, want a smaller in-pocket device, and it plays all the Switch games. I get it, or most, because there's some Switch games that won't be able to play.
Right.
But
Super Mario Odyssey.
It wouldn't be called. Well, you can still play Odyssey. You can play that entirely in handheld mode.
Yeah, but
the motion control stuff is mimicked with the stick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they already thought of that at the time. The game there's one game that comes to mind that would not work. It would be Super Mario Party.
Okay.
Super Mario Party is only playable with Joy-Cons detached.
Right.
Literally only playable. You cannot play them with them on the side of the system. So that game would just not be playable. But you're talking about a system targeted at kids that a kid game would not be playable on.
Right.
So the big thing is, I don't think they ever release a Switch that is incapable of playing the entire Switch.
One could also argue that there's not a massive audience for Mario Party. Or is there?
It's almost over 1 million in Japan. It'll be over 1 million next week. It's the fastest selling Mario Party game of all time, and I think it's like 2 or 3 million worldwide.
Okay, I stand corrected.
It's okay. But I can say it's not Breath of the Wild.
Right.
It's not Odyssey. Right. It's not whatever the hell is going on with Smash Bros. Right now, setting records. It's not that, but it's still a game. And there's other games like fitness boxing. Again, people are going to argue, well, you could just buy a second set of Joy-Cons. But out of the box, it needs to be able to play everything. That's what's so brilliant about this design. Out of the box, no matter what game it is, this plays. You don't need to buy a Pro Controller.
Right.
You don't need to buy anything. Right. Out of the box, you can play every single game with this.
I did think of one other one, but that is more of kind of an accessory type thing as well.
Pokemon?
No. No, the Comfort Grip. They could make it a little bit wider. It's not super comfy.
Comfort Grip is an accessory.
Huh?
I don't even know what you're talking about. That sounds like an accessory.
The original grip that you get with the...
you mean the... okay. Yeah.
That one's kind of... It kind of angles in like this, so you're kind of like playing like this almost. It'd be nice if it kind of, was a little bit wider, not necessarily... it just doesn't feel somewhat
3D
correct.
Printed one of those.
Yeah.
Where what the Joy-Cons did, because right now they go straight in, which I get because that's the way they are in the system, so I get it. And the extra girth it adds is just extra girth to hold it. Some people actually find it very comfortable, and that's fine.
I don't.
That's fine, but you don't. What some people did for you is they basically made the same thing. They made it slightly wider, but they had these things angling like this.
Yeah, that does kind of seem like it would.
So then what happens is it's more like an Xbox 360.
Yeah.
So then your thumb's up here, your buttons are up here, thumbs stick down. So that's what it feels like then. Is more like a 360.
Yeah.
It looks weird, but it feels comfortable. Now,
Right.
granted, those were 3D printed. I'm sure there's some official ones or some unofficial ones you could buy on Amazon now that are like that. But I don't have an issue with the included grip. But then again, like the way I play is like this. So this is how I'm playing, right?
Right.
If you look at how I'm holding this thing. I already have a natural gap here, so all those things are doing in the grip is filling in the gap.
No. I get that, but
I'm not like this. Some people do play like this. So they shove it in like this, and this is how they play.
Yeah.
And this, I can't. My thumbs are too big.
Right.
So I have to literally hold it out further like this.
Right.
And when you hold it out further like that, that's where the grip actually matters. It doesn't make it uncomfortable for me. But I have monster hands and thumbs that are longer than most people's dingalings. So like, I can't hold like my kids. My kids are all like. Ah!
For me, it feels like it's the back end of my hands are it's not uncomfortable. I can use it. But where your grip is.
It's inside my gray case, wherever that is.
Oh.
Blah 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 blah.
Something we did not think about
was the accessories. They come with the Switch. Anyways, whatever.
Right, yeah.
Everyone knows what you're talking about.
But it feels it's not that I can't use it. It's just it doesn't feel as comfortable as it could be.
Sure. I understand that. Okay. Let's move on to the last topic here. So,
sorry,
Eric,
the last
do you mind introducing this last topic and why we're deciding to talk about it today? When we've talked about this numerous times,
oh god,
it's been a little while. But what announcement did they do this week? I have yet to really say much negative about this announcement. But there's some interesting. There's an interesting thing about this announcement that I don't think anyone's really talking about yet that you brought up today.
First thing, you mean the first thing that I said when I saw the announcement?
So, what are we talking about? What's the fourth topic?
As you have it written, what the hell is Nintendo doing with the Nintendo Switch Online service?
Now, why did I say that? What did you say immediately when you learned about the games?
Oh, I was like, hey, look, they now announce the NES games that are coming out for the Switch Online for this month. I'm like, and then you said the games, and I'm like,
yeah, Master Blaster and Zelda 2.
Yes, and I'm like, I thought they said 3. I thought they said that they were giving us 3 games.
I don't know if they promised 3 per month, but it's been 3 per month.
Pretty sure that they have said that they were going to give us at least 3 per month. I am not going to doubt you.
I'm just saying that I don't know 100%. Because Nintendo has weird wording and could infer things they don't actually promise. So I don't know. But what I do know is 2 is less than 3.
Yes, 2 is less than 3.
We waited until a week before the games were going to come out to even know what they are. Right. We've never had to wait that long. But we knew what all the next 3 months were after the Nintendo Direct before.
Also, another thing. Sorry, keep going. I'll get to this after.
No, go for it.
Another thing is I have a problem with. If I pay for this online subscription service that I'm supposed to get a monthly game, why in the hell are they coming out halfway through the month?
I mean, yeah, but they've been coming out halfway through the month every time, so it's still like a month between.
I get that, but it feels like it should be at the beginning of the month.
But not everyone pays at the beginning of the month.
I don't know. It just feels like it should be at the beginning of the month.
Okay, that's just a pet peeve thing.
It is. To me, it is.
Matter. Like even Games of Gold, like it doesn't always come at like the beginning of the month. They're dropped throughout the month. Yeah. Granted, they give you more games, better options. Well,
it's just a
more
thing,
expensive,
I guess.
More expensive service though. So with the NES games, like I was okay with the NES games not being announced heading into January because I thought this is presumptuous of me, but Nintendo's hinted at it. I thought the reason they did not have any games announced for January was either because we weren't going to get any, or we were, but they didn't want to announce them until after they dropped a bomb that SNES games are coming to Switch this month. And so they were going to launch a bunch of SNES games, and so if they didn't have the NES games, was because they're launching SNES, or they didn't want to announce the NES games and have them get overshadowed by the SNES. So like That's what I thought. And then they just announced the NES games anyway. We find out they're 2 amazing games,
right?
But we're getting 1 less game than we've been getting. Still no word on SNES. And you waited until the month of, and now I don't know what we're getting in February. Oh, they'll give us a week notice. Yeah. Like, why can't we know a month plus ahead of time? What is so wrong? Like,
why can't I know the rest of the year?
Why? Here's the thing. I paid for this.
Yeah.
Why can't you tell me what I paid for until after I've already paid for it?
Yeah.
Like, you gave us a 3. Like, I thought they were the way they did it. They gave us what, October, November, December.
Yep.
We knew what all those games were going to be as soon as they announced the lineup and stuff. Fine. I thought it was going to be, okay, you tell us November or October, November, December. I thought when we got to December, you would announce January, February, March. So I thought basically we would always get 3 months at a time.
That would make sense.
That's fine.
Because
they sell 3-month memberships.
Yeah.
Fine. Cool. 3 months at a time. Gotcha. Dig it. That was fine. Then we head into January. Still don't know. And then we finally get our announcement in January. Still don't know next month or the next month. And we found out it's a game less. To me, the Nintendo Switch Online service, when it comes to the NES game offerings, the reason that we were only getting 2 games, as an example, is because they added all these things where you're getting these online features and all this stuff and save states. They're adding all this stuff in. Great. But it takes more time to do it than they realized. And so those 9 games that they had for the October, November, December, I think those were already done.
Yeah.
They were just spreading them out.
Yeah.
But then the games for January weren't even started yet. So they didn't even know what those games were probably till December.
Right.
And even then, there might have been a 3rd game they thought was going to make it. They couldn't. Now that's going to come in February. What I'm saying is, for something that seems so simple, on Virtual Console, back in the day, because remember, Reggie Fils-Aimé is the one that said the Nintendo Switch Online service replaces Virtual Console. So let's never mind the fact we don't have SNES, don't have GameCube, don't have Wii, don't have DS, don't have any of the actual offerings that Virtual Console had.
Right.
They would give us 3 games per week.
Yeah.
And now we're down to 2 per month? Great games. I'm supposed to be satisfied with. Oh, it's only $20 a year. It's only $1 whatever a month. Like, why are you complaining? Because they compared it to Virtual Console. But why are we getting so many less games than we got on Virtual Console? At the rate they're currently going, sure, they'll add SNES in 2025.
That's saying they get through any sort of.
Technically, there's enough NES games that we won't see it to like 2040.
Oh God,
current pace.
Right? Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there's enough decent
it'd be
NES
different
games
if it was like
3
NES games a month, 3 SNES games a month, 3 N64. Like, okay, now you're getting like 9, 12 games a month. Okay, cool, across multiple platforms. But you only have 1 platform on there, and you still can only give us 2. No, it was 3. Now only 2.
Yeah.
NES from 30 plus years ago, you can only get us 2 of those a month. Games that, I hate saying this, you can go online and download illegally, and I can have a library of hundreds of them right now. You can go on Amazon right now, buy the Soulja Boy Retro Mini, and have like 300 games right now for cheaper than what you're. Well, it's not cheaper than the online service for a year, but there'll be more games on it than you will get in the time it takes you to have the online service long enough to catch up.
The amount per game, though.
What?
How much is the Soulja Boy?
Soulja Boy Retro Mini, $60.
$60 for 300 games.
Well, no, it's like 800 plus.
Okay,
but
so
300 Nintendo or 400 Nintendo.
Okay, so
across multiple platforms.
Even then, so let's even if it's $60 for 300 games, 400 Nintendo games. Even if it was just that, that's still less per game than the $20 you're paying for the 9 games that you have now, or 12 games or whatever it is.
It's 29, and then it's about to be 31. Yeah.
Oh, but still, that's still less per game.
Yeah. By the time you get 3 years into the service, at current pacing, what is it? Let's say in 2019, it's 2 games per month because it started 2019 with 2. Why should I presume it's going to be more?
Right.
That's 24 new games added this year.
Yep.
So what does that put us at?
Like
we were at 29,
50?
So we're at 53.
55 at most.
53, maybe 55 at the end of the year. Okay, add another 24 for the next year, so you're at 70. Basically, we'll be at about 100 games by the time you spend $60 across 3 years. What did I just say the Retro Mini was?
300 to 400.
Oh, right. 300 to 400, just Nintendo.
Yeah.
By the way. 800 altogether for 60.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, and by the way, don't buy the Soulja Boy Retro Mini. It's not illegal to buy it. It's illegal for it to be sold, but it's just a don't. It's got issues with emulation, like whatever. But I just
No, I
don't get it. I don't get it. Here's the thing. I have my criticisms about any online service. I don't think you should have to pay to connect to your own internet. Right. I've never believed you should have to pay. If a game offers peer-to-peer multiplayer, it should not be behind a paywall because all it's doing is using your own network. Mm-hmm. It's using your system and your own network and their system and their network. Yeah. The only thing the server is doing at all is just matchmaking you. And that doesn't take much. You can do that pretty easily. Right. So you don't really need to pay for something like that.
You don't even really need a server. I mean, the only reason why you need a server is because of the mass quantities you're doing.
Yeah, because of how many people are matchmaking.
We could matchmake off your PC.
Yeah, I mean, it's just connecting people together. That's all it is. It's just connecting 2 points of the internet together.
Yeah.
Which your ISP does normally anyways, but in the case of it going through a game-specific thing, obviously it would be, instead of your ISP, it would be an extra setting. Mm-hmm. It would still go through your ISP. It would go from your ISP to their server farm, then to the other person, and then connect you two together. And once you're connected together, it's just you two connected together. Mm-hmm. They matchmake you. You are no longer using Nintendo servers. Nintendo servers get updated after the match is done, and it uploads all the data. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, any P2P game shouldn't be behind. And I know, by the way, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, a lot of their games are peer-to-peer on their thing, too, and I don't agree with it on those systems either. So this is not just a Nintendo thing.
Right.
I don't think anyone should ever have to pay for peer-to-peer multiplayer. Yes. Now, you're going to offer dedicated servers. That's different.
Yes.
Dedicated servers do a lot more.
Yes.
I know what dedicated servers cost. I've done them just for a website, let alone for online games.
Yes.
So I get paying for that. I mean, it's the same reason why I understand why World of Warcraft charges $15 a month or $60 a year or whatever, kind of like a PlayStation thing, because everything is running on those damn servers, or a lot of things run on those damn servers.
Right.
It's not cheap to upkeep that crap. So I get it. I understand it. And so far, World of Warcraft's like the only one that can get away with it. But I know it's only $20. But there's two basically benefits you get of it besides just playing games online. You get the ability to back up your game saves, which, by the way, every other platform gives you a free ability to do that. It's called local backups. Switch won't let you do that. It's not preventing piracy because guess what? The Yuzu emulator just got updated, and now Super Mario Odyssey runs at 60 FPS on PC. Guess what? People are hacking their Switches, and they are getting their save data anyway, so you might as well just let us have an official method that's actually for legit users that aren't going to do that. Whatever. Anyways, the point is there should be local backups, but there's not. So they're not the only ones to put cloud saves behind a paywall system, but they are the only ones to do it that don't offer an alternative. So PlayStation, I believe, puts theirs behind a paywall, but they offer local backup, so you don't have to pay to back up your games.
Yes.
Microsoft doesn't charge for it, but Microsoft literally has a massive server farm regardless. So
yes.
They just figure whatever. It takes up such a minute part of their server farm. What do they care?
Yes.
So I just
also. So
you pay for the only way to back up games, and then you pay for the NES games.
Also, don't they offer it for all of their games?
Yes. Both platforms, Sony and Microsoft, require every game to support the backup system, whether it's local or the cloud. And Nintendo has literal Nintendo games that are exceptions that don't support it because Nintendo wants to store multiplayer data locally on your system because that's never going to get hacked and cheated.
Right.
No, people aren't going to find a way to cheat their Splatoon 2 X rankings at all to make sure they never lose them. They're not going to save state restore.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's a whole other complaint.
Right.
The Nintendo Switch Online service to me, it exists to make money. It exists for all platforms to make money. It's good they get that consistent stream of revenue, and I understand why they exist and why Nintendo's doing it. Everyone else in the console space is doing it, so why not us?
Right.
And we can't come in at 60 because we're not willing to offer what other people offer. We're not going to give people Breath of the Wild for free right now.
Right.
Like other platforms would do that. It's 2 years old. We're not going to do that.
No.
Our titles are evergreen. They're worth too much to do that. Fine. But we don't have a way to message people. One of the initial promises of the online service, the only cool thing about that app was supposed to be the ability to create play sessions with your friends for later. You were supposed to be able to schedule play sessions with friends. To me, that meant, one, you obviously have to be able to contact your friends and message them somehow through the app in order to even make the play session. And then you could set up the play session and actually have a group thing all set up to organize games to play with people later. Instead, it's just voice chat. And granted, the voice chat sounds better than it did way back when it was just in beta, but it's still just voice chat, and the voice chat's still clunky going because you have to go back and forth. I think like twice between the Switch and your phone to get it to work. So now you're draining battery on it's just yeah. And I know they sell headsets now that you can like wire into your Switch and Bluetooth to your phone. Like I get it. It's just not convenient. Nothing about that's like we talked about why this system blew up.
Yeah,
big part of it you said convenience.
That's inconvenient.
Until it came to online, and then it became the most inconvenient thing I've ever touched.
Right.
I mean, heck, getting online in Phantasy Star Online through the dang Ethernet adapter, or it wasn't even Ethernet, 56K adapter.
Dongle.
Back, and it wasn't a dongle actually.
Ah, come on, I just like that word though.
It was an attachment.
Right.
I know dongles are an attachment, but like literally, this is a
a
hard piece you plugged into the bottom of your GameCube.
Yeah.
Phantasy Star Online was easier to connect and play games online to, and held its connection better, by the way, than playing games on Switch Online.
Fantastic.
Like, why isn't there an Ethernet port on the dock? That's another thing.
I couldn't. Yeah.
Ethernet port costs pennies.
Right.
Put it on the dock. Don't make us use a dongle.
Yeah. Dongle.
Because they can charge $30. Like,
I love that word. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Who cares? Next thing you know, they're going to remove the headphone jack and make us plug a dongle into the bottom part to get
damn straight there.
Because, hey, as Apple said, it's brave. You got to be brave to remove the headphone jack. You got to be stupid.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry, but those their earbuds, they're so freaking tiny that I feel like I'm going to set them down and they're just going to disappear. I've seen them. They're just, it's like, no.
It's just
they don't have like an over-the-ear. I don't. Maybe they may, but I don't think they have like an over-the-ear attachment. I don't think they have. They're just like a little thing about yay big, and it's like I set that down and it gets covered up by something. They're gone.
Yeah,
I put them in my pocket. They're gone.
Look. I can complain all day about the online service. It's like the worst thing about Switch. There's so many wonderful things about this platform. The indie support, even some of the AAA support we're getting now. Dragon's Dogma was just announced. Excellent game. Can't wait to play that on Switch. I've heard at times it's even better than Oblivion, so I can't wait to dive into that. Even though it comes from Crapcom, this was before they became Crapcom, so I can't wait to dive into that. I can't wait to play so many games. Like the games are great. I know some people want themes and stuff in the UI. I don't really care about any of that stuff. That stuff's all like unnecessary fluff that they're just going to microtransaction you for like they do on 3DS.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't really care about any of that crap. I don't even care about we want eShop music. Like, why? Who cares? I'm there to buy a game and get the hell out. I'm not there to listen to music. So whatever. I get that people like that because it adds charm and
it does.
Creates that Nintendo flavor. And I'm just like, dude, I didn't even listen to it back in the day. Like the first time you go into this is kind of neat, and then I never listened to it.
Right.
Like the only thing that was kind of cool was the system transfer. The system transfer was cool because I had like little Pikmin carrying things. Like the system transfer stuff on Wii U was really really neat. But besides that, and that made a little sense because that's what you're going to be there on that screen for a while, transferring systems back then. Mm-hmm. I don't get for all convenient Switches. It's like Nintendo can't ever just get it all right.
Nope.
Finally, they made hardware that's sexy, that's attractive, that's convenient, that does a lot of things well. Even with some of the design flaws, whatever, it's understandable. First runs, we get it. It should improve in the next version. Mm-hmm. But the online service isn't a version thing. It's a software.
Yeah.
It's something they control now. It's something they delayed.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yep.
Supposed to launch summer. No, it's going to launch fall. Now it's going to launch next year.
Yep.
And even by the time it launched, it didn't even have all the features it promised. Again, I mentioned the matchmaking thing. Go back in the interviews. Go back on the OG page. All you have to do is go to the not as much online page, but go back to 2017 and read what it said on there. It promised an ability to create play sessions with your friends.
Yeah.
Suddenly it vanished off the website, and if you ask Nintendo about it, they just don't say anything. They pretend they never promised that feature. So it came out with less features than it promised. Now, granted, you could say, well, they didn't have that feature, but they added in cloud saves. That wasn't promised back then. Yeah, you know why they added in cloud saves? Because everyone said it was idiotic. We couldn't back up our saves in the first place. They fixed a problem with the Switch.
They fixed a problem that they created.
They created a problem, and they fixed it. That's not a feature. And all they had to do was let us back up to the SD cards. Oh, we're worried about people jacking the save files. They were jacking it before you even had cloud saves. So who cares? The moment the Switch got hacked, you lost any excuse to not offer backup saves.
Yep.
Any excuse to not offer local backups. It got hacked. You're done. A hardware hack. You're screwed.
Yep.
You're screwed. It doesn't matter anymore. Your system's now open to hackers. They're going to do it anyway. People that want to cheat are going to cheat. Don't screw over legit customers. The fact that any of us can lose our Splatoon 2 data right now in 2019 from a game that came out in 2017 is absolutely ridiculous when I pay for a service specifically to back that shit up.
Yeah. No,
it pisses me off.
I get you.
It still pisses me off to this day. And I know about it. And it just,
I
stopped playing Splatoon 2 because of it. I literally do not play Splatoon 2 anymore because I just know one day I'm going to drop my Switch and it's gone.
Yeah, well, the fact that even a game that came out in 2017 didn't have the ability to...
Well, yeah, it was bad enough that we had to go a year and a half before we even had the ability to back up our files.
Right.
God, imagine, for a year and a half, all of us were risking our Breath of the Wild data, our Odyssey data, everything. And you might think, oh, well, and nothing happened to me. To you, go on the internet and look up some of the horror stories about people who dropped their Switch or people who turned on their Switch one day and all their save files were corrupt and there was no way to recover them. There were people that literally had this issue because it happens with all electronic devices. I've had it happen with my phone where my contacts got deleted. It just happens because there was a corrupt file and it just screwed up the whole SD card, so you had to wipe it and restart. It happens. It's technology. Memory, these memory blips happen. It happens on desktops all the time. That's why you start blue screening and having errors half the time. Things happen. But you know what your computer does automatically? It creates a safe backup state so you can restore your computer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There is no safe backup on here.
Yeah.
They don't include enough memory for there to be a safe backup with only 32 gigs. But besides that, all they had to do was let us back up our save files to our SD card, or at least have an option in the menu to automatically back it up to our SD card. Set aside this amount of chunk of your SD card to be for backups. Done.
Mm-hmm.
Done.
Ooh, that is another improvement. They could include Sorry, I know we're going back to topic.
They can include 2 SD card slots. That would be sweet.
Well, that, or they just include a larger SD card to begin with.
They don't include SD cards at all.
Oh, well, then they can include
It's just internal memory. The internal memory should be 128 gigs in the next one, but I mean,
right.
Who knows what they're going to do.
Sorry to go back a topic.
No, it's okay. I'm going to be angry about this until it gets fixed. I think Nintendo will eventually add local backups because they're going to realize we're not stopping the cheating anyways, and you keep combating it. But bottom line is people are still state altering anyways. So you might as well just let us legit consumers that have no interest in hacking. I have no interest in hacking my Switch. Let me back up all my games. And here's the thing. Splatoon 2, you know how easy it is to fix? I pay for your online service, Nintendo. Just release an update to the Switch that takes all the local multiplayer stuff, put it on your server. Here's the deal. The data I'm worried about losing in Splatoon 2 isn't my single player stuff. It's the multiplayer stuff. Mm-hmm. The multiplayer rankings and all that data. It's only stored on my Switch. Why is a multiplayer game storing that crap on my Switch and not on your servers in the first place? It should be impossible for me to lose Splatoon 2 multiplayer data because it should just be there on your side. You should be keeping track of that data.
Yep.
Not me.
Yep.
It's like saying, hey, guess what? We're playing cloud multiplayer on PC, but the cloud's not keeping track of your data. Only your local computer is.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we playing online then? What the hell's the point of it? Just make it a network battle.
Yeah, right.
I'll just tell the person to give me their IP address, and heck, we do it. Their IP address is included in their friend code, and we can just literally connect and bypass Nintendo. Because what the hell are they for? I'll matchmake with my friends myself. What the hell are they for if they're not going to keep the online multiplayer data online?
Yep.
Like every game in existence does.
Yeah. No, I know. I get you.
Even most of Nintendo's games.
Yep.
So they know to do that. It was an issue with Splatoon. Should have been fixed for Splatoon.
How did ARMS work then?
I don't even know.
Do they have
ARMS? You can back up ARMS.
But does it have it online?
That data is stored online.
But did they have like an online thing like...
Yeah, they have online rankings and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, all that stuff's stored online. All stored online. Mario Kart 8, all stored online. Not Splatoon. And they've had 2 games to get it right, and they still haven't done it.
Yeah, I don't know. I lost.
You don't even get me started on Let's Go. That's another one you can't back up. Look at the Pokemon company's worried about. Pokemon Company, the stuff you're worried about is happening anyways.
It's not. There are other ways to do it besides.
Anyways. That's neither here. Like it's all this is related to online, so I think it's all relevant.
Right.
This is the thing. Nintendo Switch is great until you mention online, and then it's just a shit show.
Yeah.
I still play games online. I have the service. I have fun playing with you guys in the audience. But man, is it so much to wish for in 2019 to have Nintendo just like reach out to Google and be like, "Hey Google, we're already using your services for voice chat. Can you just like do our online service for us? That'd be great."
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure Google will have no problem partnering up and saying, "Sure, give us 25% of the fees for the online service."
Hey, Discord, you want to just come onto our system?
Microsoft might be buying out Discord, so that's a totally different thing.
Well,
you know, it's slowly it's better than Skype, so they got to
buy the program that's better than Skype. Yeah.
Skype has actually changed. I finally on Skype the other day. It's gotten a lot better. But.
Although, I don't know if they will, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they bought Discord. But they kind of came out with their own thing too with Teams.
Sure.
So
well, of course they did.
I mean, that still doesn't mean that they won't buy Discord.
And none of it replaces Slack. Slack's a really cool one.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of you guys might not know what Slack is. It's usually for business professionals. It's like,
right.
It's actually really, really cool. It's a really cool chat app for business pros. But and you can basically do everything Discord can do, everything Skype can do, but like better and cleaner without any of the bulk, because it's just literally meant for business only. So it's neat. Like Discord's great, but it's built for gaming. This isn't really built for gaming. It's built for work.
You know what? I'm kind of
built for meetings. It's built for organizing. I actually thought about buying it for me to use by myself at Nintendo Prime.
Nice.
Just so I could organize things better than just using Google stuff.
Nice. You know what I'm kind of surprised of though?
What?
That again, this is kind of way off topic,
That's okay.
but with Discord, I'm kind of surprised that they don't have like a for business like version
of what?
Discord.
No. Discord's entire stick was for gamers. The entire thing was built for gamers. That's why it blew up.
Right. And now that it's blowing up, though, I'm surprised that like they didn't have.
Well, no. Now that it's blowing up, now they're trying to make money off it.
Right.
Because it wasn't making money before.
I'm kind of surprised that. Well, that's kind of one way they can do that though. Is
a business version.
A business version.
The gaming stuff.
That gets
rid of the so and so stream. You know what? Who cares about business?
Right.
Yeah.
That gets rid of that stuff. But then they could charge, it has the name already. So it has the Discord name.
Yeah, but I think the counter argument would be, why don't they just use the free version that basically does the same thing? You can just ignore the gaming stuff.
Yeah.
That's why Slack is Slack. It's not an alternative version of Skype. It's its own thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I don't know that it could survive in a world where there's a free version that businesses can use and never pay for.
Right.
And if you're only on that one, like the biggest thing I think with Discord is making sure your employees are only on Discord for work.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard to track if it's a non-business one. Maybe it's not. Maybe they could just implement a feature that, like, if you're a paid employee of X thing, like in order to even be like on that server, you have to grant the admin of that server permission to not go to the servers you're on, but to check that you aren't on other servers. So basically. Not that you can't use Discord outside of work, but that the account you connect for work is just for work and not.
But the thing is, the thing is, those two is, if I remember right, basically your account is basically through your email address, right?
Well, yeah.
And a lot of businesses have email addresses assigned to their employees.
Yeah.
You would just use that as their Discord.
I don't know. Yeah, but you'd have to have a way to make sure that email is not attached to any other.
Right.
When they're logged in under that account, they are not on other
servers. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Basically, for work purposes only.
Right.
And I think that maybe Discord has that feature, and I just don't know.
Maybe that's like I said, a for business thing that they could do.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think they care. They're so focused on what they're doing now, and now they literally sell video games. So like I don't know how much money they're making, but they're trying.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the Nitro thing, but very few people bought it because I did Nitro for a couple of months, and I was like, it's only $5 a month, but never really took advantage of it. Like, one of the cool things was like all of the custom emojis across all the servers you're on, you can use on any server. That was cool, but I don't really use emojis, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it was cool being able to go on like Game Over Jesse's Discord server and start dropping the Nintendo Prime logo everywhere. But it's like, but all you're doing is annoying people, and you're just getting kicked off the server if you keep. Yeah. Well, I don't know if Game Over Jesse would ever kick me off the server. He likes me a lot. Dude, at E3, after like the knee thing and getting hit with that camera. Oh my gosh, you should have saw his face when he saw me when I was barely able to move. he was like ready to go, like find this dude and just bury him in the ground. Like, how dare you? And it's just like, it initially was an accident. It's just everything after, and the not stopping, the not apologizing, the walking off, even though you looked back at me and knew you hit me. Mm-hmm. Like, I wasn't going to sue you.
Right.
Okay, I'm not that. I mean, he wouldn't know that, but even then, it wouldn't have been you that you sue the venue.
Right.
Like, not you individually.
Right.
So, it's just. And I understand. Like, Game Over Jesse, he would have probably pounded. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
He would have. I don't know. I don't think he's that violent, but in the moment, he was pretty angry because I was hurt. Like, that's one thing that sucked. After that happened, the rest of the whole trip was just nothing but a struggle. I mean, you were helping carry things. Yeah. Like, I didn't put way too much pressure on you, and you have a bad back. So, like, I feel like crap.
Yeah.
I know, and you were doing it because I never asked you to. I remember I never asked you to carry a damn thing. You just grabbed it off me like, fuck you.
Yeah, right.
You like look at me like, don't you say anything, motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
You don't have a choice. I'm just like, shut up.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm a stubborn asshole. I don't ask for help. But
yeah, no, I know.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at NintyPrime, or you can follow Eric on Twitter
at Emo8790.
Obviously, you can go to support us on patreon.com/NintendoPrime. I already went over all the tiers before, but in case you forgot, $5 for early access, $10 to watch the live stream of this, and then the $20 gets you on an episode of the podcast. $100 is to be a sponsor, but whatever. We have only ever had one of those ever. You could find the podcast on Google Play. Now, remember, if you do use Google Play, this is a good reminder from Eric or someone who asked me about where it is on Google Play.
That would be me.
You have to download the Google Podcast app from Google Play. So Google has their own podcast app. That's where you can find the Nintendo Prime podcast. So I always say it's on Google Play. It is, but it's through the Google Play podcast app.
Yes.
Anyways.
That was me that asked you.
Yep. So you can find it on the Google Play podcast app. You can find it on iTunes. You can find it on the Podbean app, which is available as well on both platforms. Some other podcasts use Podbean as well. It's all about, like, basically I upload the Podbean that brings it to Google Play and iTunes. So Podbean is like the OG audio version. Actually, technically the OG version would be the Patreon version, but that one's just for patrons. So,
right. Another reason to join Patreon.
Another reason. Another reason. And the only place that you can find every single podcast episode we've ever done from 1 to 93.
Yeah, buddy.
Is NintendoPrime.net.
Yes, it is.
Where Eric's one job every week. Get it up on there and make sure it's there.
Yes,
and he'll yell at me when the Podbean bill isn't paid. He'll yell at me for this. Then he'll yell at me when I pay it and don't tell him.
Yep.
And he's like, hey, did you get that audio version up yet? Yeah, dude, it's been up for like 2 weeks. What the hell?
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And he might be posting some news on NintendoPrime.net soon once I remind him how to do it because it's been a while.
Yeah, it has.
But,
it's not I know how to make posts. I know how to do all that other stuff. It's more the crediting and your kind of you the way you like things written up.
I like things. I don't know. I don't really have that many requirements.
Right. No, I know.
Just a reminder. A refresher course.
Right.
Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week for episode 94. Yeah. Wah!
Wah!
Oh. Get in my belly. How's it going, live streamers?
They're probably yelling at us. We did not need to see that.
Did someone say it online on Switch? What is that? Crap. Okay. Okay. I always like reading the chat after the fact since I'm not really reading it. Oh.
Purple blur. Purple blur.
Purple blur.
Purple blur. Purple blur.